Oh, hi guys, and welcome to this new hangout with Sammy on the topic violence in, you can say, film, TV shows, and video games. This is a follow-up to my video about how far should TV shows, movies go with some of their violence, sex, and all that stuff. And Sammy did a video response to this, and now we are going to respond to the responses, and just continue a little bit on the topic and touch upon violence in video games as well, since Sammy wanted to know my opinion on that, and it's very interesting also to get into video games as well. So yeah, Sammy.
Okay. Yeah, that video that you put up, just fantastic. And I think that was a very, very good discussion, or topic discussion that you brought up. And that's why I wanted to do my VR. It was very interesting to me. And so I guess I was just wondering, well, first of all, if you guys, to get like better context, you might want to head on over to Gary G's video and check that out. How far should TV shows and movies go with sex, blood, and violence? Go check that out first. Okay, and then you'll better understand what we're talking about. Now, I'm interested in knowing, you mentioned Spartacus, and then what's the other show? Bastard, it's called?
No, the Bastard Executioner.
A Bastard Executioner, okay. There's a lot of like gore and violence and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I wanted to clear something up.
Sure,
to respond to your video response.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, I think you misunderstood me a little bit, Sammy, because
Shoot.
yeah,
Okay.
I didn't mean to say that I'm against all violence and all sex and all that in movies, TV shows and all that. I didn't say anything like that. I said that the way is it's just about the way they choose to show something or not to show it, or show it in a manner that is really like in your face, like it's boldly face, is like it's saying, look at that, look at that, look at that, Yeah, I'm against that way of showing it, because this is only for the shock, and it doesn't hold any values, to the series or the particular movie, and I think that it's abused. It's like to have and to choose to show it the most worst way, so you can abuse the shock and all that, the reaction from the audience to get more ratings and all that, like Vincent said in our little chat in the morning on Facebook. That is how Spartacus got ratings. So I'm against, the manner of how they showing it, because in Spartacus, like I said, they show everything with the slow motion, and you just have to stood there. You have to sit there and see gut spilling in slow motion. Some guy's head falling off his shoulders in slow motion. And that is so unnecessary. They could show how his head is falling off and all that, but they could show it like quick, not so concentrated on that. But they losing minutes from the show with all those slow motion scenes, with all those disgusting stuff. And they always want to make sure that you are just shocked and to put everything as close to the camera as possible. That is what I'm against mostly.
Okay. And
Yeah.
just so you know too, occasionally you kind of break up, but I think that's due to my connection. I can hear you for the most part, but it starts to, you know how it is when it cuts in and out. I think there's something up with the connection going goofy. But I heard all that about the, show it in the most disgusting manner, and kind of like when you go in slow motion, like taking the time to do that, kind of like wasting time, like showing all that, right?
Yeah. It's just on purpose. It's just on purpose.
It's on purpose. Now, well, here's the thing about that, though, because I've never seen the show, so maybe I'm wrong, but is it maybe a stylistic choice on the director's part, or like the show, like for the slow motion effects, the slow motion shots, kind of like in 300, how they have the slow motion, You know how they do that? Because you did mention 300. Is it meant to be something like that?
Yeah, well, Spartacus compared to 300 is nothing. I mean, 300 is like a normal everyday movie compared to what we see in Spartacus, because they said that it's supposed to be like 300. I mean, they use similar effects, but in 300 they did this very artistically. It was brief. Yeah, it has some, of course, some motion, but mostly in the fightings, not like in the blood and gore itself. So in Spartacus, they just took all that technology from the 300 slow motion, all that, and just decided to abuse the hell out of it. Let's say it that way. So for me, it's yeah, abusive of all that 300 was showing, and all that is it was good about 300. They made it like spit on that, you can say.
So you're saying like they made it like a normal movie, but it was more, it seemed more like a style, like the way they did in 300, versus them doing the slow motion effects on, I guess, just the gore parts was when they would do the slow motion effects, or would they also do it in the fighting as well?
In the fighting, in the gore effects, and in that scene with the head, with the smashed head that I told you about, it was it was purposely showed up close and for a pretty long time. It was purposely showed that. So I can't agree with that in any form or shape of any understandings that I have of everything. So yeah, I don't appreciate it.
Seems like more of like a horror movie. Like if they're going to showcase like a horror movie or an ultra violent action film. So, but if it's just meant to be kind of like a normal sword and sorcery kind of show, like a Xena. I can't say Game of Thrones because I haven't seen that either. But if it's just meant to be like a regular fantasy film, like a Lord of the Rings, then yes, maybe. But I'm wondering if maybe they're just trying to show like the horrific side of things, like how, because when you watch it, and you see something like that, maybe a head being exploded, maybe they want you to, like you said, you know, maybe feel how brutal these times were. You know what I mean? So when something good does happen, you cheer for it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like you can't know the pleasure without the pain kind of thing. You know, you can't know what good feels like unless you know how suffering feels like. That type of thing. Could that also be the thing? Do you think?
I totally get what you're saying, but in this case, they could show all the you know, blood and all that, just briefly, and do it. You know, it's not so much in your face. To not be, and here they show it for too long. And it's purposely in your face. It's just obvious when you watch the show. You will know what I'm talking about. It's not like, yeah, these were the times they could show all they want, but not in that manner. There's a difference between showing it and showing it in that way for the sake of showing it also. And it's not also about the violence. I talked about also about the sex. It's absolutely the same thing with the sex. You can't just sit and watch the show normally as they are speaking. I mean, two characters speaking. In the next seconds, there will be like a totally like disgusting sex scene. I mean, done in disgusting way again. Then after, see guts spilled. After that, you can see gay sex. After that, you can see. I mean, there's nothing normal or okay about everything in Spartacus. Everything was like an excuse. I mean, the story was an excuse to show a ton of all those scenes. So conversations were like, I mean, when you're watching a conversation, you're like, in any second something will jump on the screen. You know, whether that be boobs, more boobs, prosthetic penises. I mean, anything. You're constantly at a stress because you don't know what you're going to see. any second. So this was only to attract audience, to show them something that no one dared to do. But just they went absolutely too far. I mean, you can't just sit and watch this like super. What I'm saying right now, you know, it's too much in every possible way.
I see.
There has to be some kind of a line after all.
Kind of like how they did with Xena, where, you know, they can showcase the violence without going too far, you know. But you also keep in mind that was on what is it, on normal TV? What's the word? On like your standard TV. It's not like on a cable show. On the cable show, you can get away with more. It's you can kind of show rated R and I guess even borderline X in a way, like almost unrated stuff in a way, like how it is nowadays apparently. Whereas if it's on the free TV, like your basic channels TV, which is what was on Channel 9. What the hell?
I have no idea. Someone said something in the group chat.
Yeah, Brandon sent a sticker to the group. That's all that was.
Yeah.
But where was that? Yeah, I guess it's different, the stuff that you can get away with. Now I wonder if Xena was a cable show on Stars or something, if it would have that same level of violence. And the only reason why it didn't have all that gore, I guess, was maybe because it was on free TV. What do you think about that?
No, I doubt that, because Xena had more class. It was made in different times that kind of knew what they were doing. They focused on the story, on the characters, on the sense of it all, of the feelings, of the emotions, and everything made sense. And nowadays shows focused on the shock. That's my whole, that's the bigger picture of the problem, that today shows focus on the blood. Also, the Vampire Diaries that show on CW, it has a lot of gory stuff. They so boldly show. Yeah, they try to go there constantly just to show you something, but it's not like you can't see it. I mean, still some kind of a line there.
Because again, Vampire Diaries is on television. True Blood is on. It's on HBO or something. It's on a cable channel where you can get away with more. But getting back with the Xena, though, I totally know what you mean about it does have a lot of like emotion, with the characters, between the friendship relationship between Gabby, Gabrielle, Xena, the conflict, love-hate kind of relationship between Ares and Xena, what they have. I love that. And that's I guess really the heart of a show. Is to have strong characters, strong story. Maybe not necessarily the gore and the violence and the sex. I guess one question is, do you feel as if those things make the show more realistic, though?
No, because I think that this is ruining the show. If it's too much, it's totally ruining the show. Because it's no longer about whether or not this show has to mean something or has to, have some kind of a substance. It's all about now the sex and the blood and the gore and all that. It's becoming that, because all you can see is that. It's not the sense, it's not the story, it's not anything. The story, just like from the sides, just watching the gore. I mean, the story itself is watching the sex and the gore and the sex is becoming the main thing. I mean, that is how it is in Spartacus. In Game of Thrones, it's not the same, because, as I said in my video, that they sometimes miss sex. I mean, they miss to show it. They miss to show bloody stuff. So Game of Thrones, you can see something, but you can also not see anything. It's not like Spartacus, where you can see all the time everything in every second, really? Like again. So I heard Angel that he stopped watching Game of Thrones, and I said in the chat that that's nothing compared to Spartacus. I mean, Game of Thrones is like calm show.
Do you still like Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I like it.
You still like it? Okay.
Like it. I think I said in the video that I still watch it. I give it a pass on some things. There are some super shocking things like killing the whole family and the pregnant mom and all that. Which, by the way, the Vampire Diaries, if someone watches that, the viewers, I mean, they did the same thing. I mean, bloody wedding, a pregnant woman was killed. Just like some idiot put her hand in her stomach and like, yeah, you know.
Oh.
So yeah, that happened. But I mean, once again, they didn't show that in such a way that it's like too far. It's still amazingly bad, but it's not. So there's still some kind of a line here, where in Spartacus there's not.
Yeah. Now, see, because I haven't seen any of those shows except for Xena, Buffy, Charmed, stuff like that. But I have not seen Game of Thrones, Spartacus. True Blood, even Vampire Diaries, even though I can watch it. There's also a show called Supernatural.
Yeah.
And those are on free TV. Now, what about Vikings, though? Because that's a cable channel as well, and it on a History Channel. Now, isn't there gore in there? Because I saw a video where it was like Gertha, and it looked like she stuck like a fork or a knife in a guy's eye. And so that seems like it has a bit of real violence as well. How do you feel about that? Was it less tame than Spartacus?
Sammy. Vikings has nothing in comparison with Spartacus in terms of blood and sex and gore, so that's nothing. I mean, Lagertha, kills her husband, her second husband, and stabs him with a fork in his eye and all that. That's nothing. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. That's still, you mean...
I get to see the show now.
Yeah, you have to get what I mean, Sammy. They show that, but they still show that quickly in a way that you see that it's over and all that. In Spartacus, you're going to see that for 10 minutes. And like close-up of his eye for 10 minutes being stabbed with the, there's a difference. The way of showing is not about the blood so much, it's how they show it. That's my whole point. So, and that's what can mess with your mind, the way they show it. So if Lagertha choose to do that and it's quick, it's no problem.
There's a movie called Drive. Have you heard of this? Starring Ryan Gosling?
I've heard of it.
That one has some ultra violence in there in a way. There's a scene where one character takes a knife and you see him stabbing it into the guy's neck. There's another scene when Ryan Gosling's character is stomping on a man's head and pulls up like a watermelon or you briefly see it, like a pumpkin. So it has, some of the violence there. It's not, I wouldn't say it's ultra violence, but the scenes that you do see, there's one scene where you see a girl's half her face gets blown off by a shotgun from buckshot and you see it kind of like explodes. Do things like that in action flicks even bother you?
Yeah, that doesn't sound very good. But did they motion? So you have to see it like for 10 minutes, or they just show it like very quickly?
No, it wasn't in slow motion like that. It kind of went brief in a way, like you see a second.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, that's different. That's still different. Still better. That's the whole difference. That could make the whole difference.
I gotcha. So it's okay to show the violence. You're okay with that, maybe certain violence, so long as it doesn't linger on the scene for too long.
Exactly, because that is when it's definitely on purpose.
Gotcha. For the shock value.
Absolutely. So maybe we have to switch now to video games because, as you know, we have to keep this brief as possible.
Sure. We'll cut to the video games now because I think we've cleared that up about the movies, and we'll just briefly touch upon what separates the violence in films and the sex in films and TV shows to like the video games that have it, because the video games do have a lot of sex and the violence, like the Grand Theft Autos. You can hire whores, the whores that can blow you in the car, stuff like it deals with drugs. There's a lot of murder. You can go out there and kill cops and stuff like that. Almost done, okay? Almost done. It's okay if it's like rush hour. I can still drive through it, because I still have to go to Best Buy anyways. By the time I get in there, Sorry about that. Yeah, because we got to cut this short, like in like 5 minutes. What do you say about that?
Yeah, about video games, I don't have any problems with them basically, because it's totally different.
You install the OS on there, okay?
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, my brother's like real desperate to have. Can you please repeat that?
Yeah, I said that I don't have any problems with video games because it's totally different there. I mean, it's more cartoony in a way. I mean, as much as the video games, most of video games are realistic, it's like more like cartoony thing, and it doesn't bother me at all. Also, the sex stuff are not that. Yeah, they're just don't. I don't care about that.
Okay, I gotcha.
It doesn't go over any lines for now. So it's totally fine.
Because I know, like in the Dragon Age series, there's like decapitation, there's blood. You know, your characters can get blood splattered, and there's blood all over them. But because it's a game, though, I guess because it's animated, you're it's not so bad, right?
Yeah, absolutely, it's not so bad. I don't take it as a real thing at all. I see this. It's what it is. It's just an animation, and it doesn't look that real. And yeah, you know, in The Last of Us, you know, that game that I showed you on the stream.
Yeah.
When one of those clickers kill you, they start to eat your neck, and they just like pull meat and blood from your neck and stretch it like a rubber band. Yeah.
Right. Oh, geez.
And that's kind of disgusting, and it's done more realistically because the graphics, the engine that Naughty Dog created, more realistic than most graphics that you can see in games. Still okay. I don't want to watch it. Sometimes I do like this. I died. And I don't want to see that.
It makes you not want to die in that way, so it makes you even more careful, eh?
Yeah. So it's totally different in video games. It has nothing to do with movies. I think it's totally different media, and
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's different.
I gotcha. Okay, I think we better get going, though. We better kind of cut this. Unless, either you have any closing comments to make? Because my brother is kind of in a hurry, and we got to get going. And
Yeah, of course. Well, if somebody didn't watch my original video that I posted yesterday, you can see that. You can see also Sammy's response, and you can of course include yourself in the conversation under the comments. The comments, very interesting topic in general. So let us know what you think about this.
Awesome. And you heard it, guys. Please check out her video and feel free to do a video response as well. I did. So check out Gary's first, and then check out mine. And then if you're okay with it, do a video response as well. And please, give her a sub. And if you like the things you see on my channel, please show me some support as well and give me a sub. I greatly appreciate that. And that's it. My brother and I were heading over to our dad's house, and who knows, there might be more hangouts over there, but then we'll be coming back tomorrow because I do have to work the day after, which is on Thursday. Today's Tuesday right now, so I have today and tomorrow, which is Wednesday, off, and I got to open the store, I believe, on Thursday. Okay, so that's it. This was an awesome discussion.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sammy. We have to a new show very soon.
Sure. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and farewell.
Thank you.